Good evening, everybody. This is Casper from the Tropical Weather Threat Society, bringing you a unscheduled and unexpected tropical update here for this evening. We are on July 14th, and we've got ourselves the potential of a homegrown system. This is known as Invest 93L, churning off the coast here, east coast of Florida, north of the Bahamas. As we can see, it is definitely starting to get the characteristics of some spin, some low level circulation going on. Hurricane hunters are forecast to fly out to this tomorrow, maybe to investigate it, but land interaction is going to be kind of critical as we go forward. And that is going to definitely influence the forecast as we continue to move this across the Florida Peninsula and off out here into the Gulf. Now, as we can see, we are currently at a 20% chance of development over the next 48 hours and a 30% chance of development over the next 7 days. Now, what we're looking at here is an area of low pressure to develop, come across the Florida Peninsula, and get out here into the northern portions of the Gulf of the Gulf. I'm not even going to try to say the name because I don't want to get into the debate with people. So, it all depends upon where this goes, where this tries to consolidate in the Gulf. Is it a little further south? Say, is it even with Tampa? Is it even with, say, Cedar Key? Does it come down here and get due west, maybe Sarasota, Venice, Fort Myers? The question is how far south does this get down into the Gulf? Because if it does, it's going to be clear of land interactions. And on top of that, it's going to have some fairly warm water without any interference to kind of, further consolidate and further develop. So regardless of development, though, rainfall is going to be the big one here. So this is over the next 24 hours from the Weather Prediction Center. Now I'm going to pop this to 48, and as you can see, a great amount of rain scheduled for tomorrow across the Florida Peninsula. You are under a slight risk for excessive rainfall. If we go to the 72-hour mark, now we can see is it's starting to creep across the northern portions of the Gulf states. And now, once we get to 96, we're starting to get a little bit of a bullseye here into the Louisiana and Mississippi areas, getting into day 5, now running over to day 6. And as you can see, it's not a lot by that point in time. We're not really getting the big increase once we get out here. So this is pretty much a 4-5 day event, honestly, from what the Weather Prediction Center is calling for as far as the rain is concerned. Now, comparing that with the NOAA blend of models, if we run this out, we're 48 hours, and it's not as much rainfall as what the Weather Prediction Center is calling for. So, I have a tendency not to believe the models, the model blend here, because there is a great amount of rain that is obviously going to come. And if we continue day 3 here, day 4, now if we notice, we get a little bit of more of a bullseye just a little bit further to the west associated with the model blend, and maybe a little bit more into central Louisiana and not necessarily coastal Mississippi and southeastern Louisiana. So there is some variabilities and some uncertainty still associated with the system. But as we can see, we run it out to day 7, and it is, there's not a lot of change from day 5, day 6, day 7. There's not really much of a change down there. Now, talking about our excessive rainfall risks, as we can see, we've got some serious flooding potentials going on today throughout the U.S. We've got the slight risk down here for the Florida Peninsula. There's been a great amount of rain associated with a kind of a rain band, in a way, firing up over land this afternoon. Tornado warning was just had around the I-75 corridor there just north of Tampa a little while ago. Looked good on radar, but no confirmation of touchdown. We've got more potential flooding out here into areas of Texas that have been ravaged over the last week, really since the start of July, honestly. July 4th created all the issues that we had with the tragedy there with Camp Mystic and the flooding there of the Guadalupe River, and it hasn't gotten any better since. They're still running from floodwaters almost daily. And then we've got a moderate risk up here into portions of the mid-Atlantic states, and this could be quite concerning because this is a lot of populated areas and urban centers, and this could be big time problems as we go forward. But day 2, take a look. We still have the slight risk down here for excessive rainfall into southern Florida. And, well, really central and southern Florida peninsula. Marginal risk, I mean, there's a lot of chance for flooding over the next few days. As we can see, day 3, now the system is out here into the Gulf, and we have a marginal risk surrounding the areas there along the Gulf Coast, depending on if a rain band can set up. And it really also depends on where this tries to consolidate. Is it close enough? Day 4. So there's a good amount of warmth. Down low is just a little bit above average, but if we look, a lot of the heat sits up here into the northern and northeastern Gulf of Mexico. I'm getting word that our live has frozen. I think we should be back. There, Christy, I've got it here up on mine. I've seen it also fire up on mine. Using the University of Wisconsin's vorticity signatures, we can see here we do have a low-level 925 millibar area of spin, and that is accompanied with the 850, 700. But then when we get to the 500, it is kind of elongated at that point. So it is a very shallow system. The wind shear values, our storm system is going to be located pretty much right where that red circle is. Change colors on this so everybody can see it. I think purple will show up pretty good. Our storm system is currently, if I put the circle on it, right in this region right here. So as you can see, there is moderate shear. The shear value has been coming from the north today. So our vector has been blowing the cloud tops off to its southern side. And by taking a look at Earth null, this will really kind of help us and make that determination here, just to kind of show everything. So this is our mess right now, our low-level circulation. It is trying to get itself established. And as you can see, at the 850 millibar level, approximately 1 mile above the ocean surface, we do have a broad area of spin. Now, I'm going to zoom out and I'm going to kind of slide up here because I want to show everybody that this is not the only feature that was associated with that decaying frontal boundary. We ended up with 2 areas of low pressure. We've got this one here. Let me turn back to red. Red shows up better. We've got this area here, and then we've got Invest 93L here. So what I want to show you is kind of the difference. If we come up to the 500 millibar level, this is approximately 3 miles above the ocean surface. As you can see, this area of low pressure here is caught in the flow of kind of your normal jet stream. This one is going up and out. This one is left behind. There's a high pressure off to its west. This will have to go up and under and around that high pressure. This high pressure is going to retrograde and weaken, and then this is going to move in over the same region that the high pressure is currently involved with. So let's get down here and take a look. So again, we're at the 850 millibar level. As you can see, we have our Invest 93L here, and we have our high pressure here. Whoa. All right. Wow. All right. My H's are terrible. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run this forward. Now, this is off of the GFS model. So we're going to run it forward 1 day. So now we're 24 hours in advance, and as you can see, our area of circulation has kind of moved in here, been significantly disrupted by the landmass of the Florida Peninsula itself. If we come down to the surface, we just have a mess, okay? And it's going to be interesting to see how this deals with the land interactions as it continues to move across. That's a variable that we cannot account for, and the models aren't going to account for it either. So if we run it out one more day, as we could see here, we're at the 850 millibar level on the GFS, and we've got a large flow up from the south that is going to just drive a whole bunch of tropical moisture into this region right here. It's going to be absolutely humid and disgusting outside. And then we're also got an area to where activity along the coastline here. As this comes up and the onshore winds collide with the land breeze, something's going to fire in this region right here. And that's where we're looking at our marginal risk of excessive rainfall. Now, if I take this down to the surface, mind you, there's nothing there. Now, this is the GFS run. The GFS is just one model of one run. So we cannot be very dependent upon what is showing here. This is for reference only. So if I come up to the 700 millibar level and we take a look at the mid-levels, we see a very, very pronounced circulation at this point. We have our high anchored right here. We have our low anchored right here. And then we also have our Bermuda high that is basically dominating the wind field and the wind flow. Now, if this storm stays rather disjointed and disorganized, it is going to not be able to feel these upper level winds. And as you can see, we may have a little bit of a shear component associated with this high pressure up over portions of the United States, approximately 6 miles up above in the atmosphere. We've got some pretty, oh, that was a terrible arrow. Wow. I might have to go back to kindergarten for drawing. Excuse me. But we also have this upper level low right here. And then this is going to be critical. Could this end up impinging a lot more shear and increasing the wind component across the northern portions of the Gulf? The closer it is to the landmass, the higher the shear could be. But now, if this comes off down here, look at the shear down here. Okay, so this is what makes it variables of unknown at this time. So running into the models, if we take a look at the models, the regular Euro ensembles, don't really have anything developing until it's right off the coast here, Alabama, Mississippi, and then moving into portions of Louisiana. But again, there's not a lot of a signal there. There's a few, but not a lot. If we compare that to the GEFS has really, really backed off development over the last 24 hours. Really backed off. As you can see here, has it coming off quite a bit further to the north than what we were looking at with the Euro. The Euro brings it out like this and wraps it in like here. The GFS is wanting to do this, and you don't give it enough time over open water to really consolidate at that point. So a lot of uncertainty now that we've got to deal with the land interactions. But the Euro AI model, this is where it gets a little interesting, because there is certainly more signal with this. And we've got it kind of coming in this region, and maybe even with a couple little outliers over here into extreme eastern Texas. But for the most part, it looks to be in this area here as far as the AI European model 12Z run. Now, please understand, we don't have anything developed right now. We don't. There's nothing out there. All these models are highly subject to change. One thing that I do want to show about the Euro, though, is if we take a look at the probability of tropical depression winds over the next 24 to 72 hours. As we could see, we have about a 65%, 70% chance of seeing tropical depression winds. There's your tropical storm. Nothing. So I'm going to push this from 48 to 96, so this way we get it out here, and the Euro tropical depression winds, and tropical storm winds. So as you can see, there is a small possibility. I do realize that the icon is calling for a hurricane. The Euro does not agree and does not even give it the legend doesn't even pop up for percentages. So at that point, we're not looking at much. As far as the DeepMind or Google DeepMind model goes, so what we're going to do is I'm going to run this forward, and as you can see, there are a couple little blips. There's 4 out of 50. That's not a lot. Now, if I come to their Weather Next Gen model and I run that, 1. If I come to the Weather Next Graph and run this, none. Now I'm going to come over here to the European ensembles, and as you can see, there's the low pressure coming across, low pressure. I've got the wind speed colors on, and we only get 1 that potentially develops into a hurricane. Over the next 5 days. And then the European high-res model, this only goes out 3 days, but as we could see, we don't have anything there. So it's going to be very interesting to see exactly what occurs here. Now, one thing that I would like to show everybody, and I'm going to try to eliminate the hype, this is the global model verification site from NOAA and the National Weather Service. So what this does is this shows us our accuracy. And as you can see here, our accuracy, Euro, still holding good, running a 0.90 coefficient, 90% accurate. The CMC has been doing a lot better, 0.873. The UK Met at 0.867, and then the GFS at 0.865. So the GFS is honestly running 4th right now in its accuracy. 4th. So keep that in mind. The GFS is the black line here. And as you can see, it has had some struggles. And well, they all do. They have their good days and their bad days. And if anybody wants this website, I'm more than happy to share the information with you. But again, we are monitoring pretty much everything. It's got all of our hurricane models. I mean, like we're watching it all, and we're making sure that everybody is behaving like they're supposed to be, and making sure that we understand exactly what's going on. But this one, because of the fact that it is within radar range, and before I show the dust model, let me pop this over to Radar Omega. I'll get that up for you in just 1 second there, Sammy. As we can see with the radar, I've got the area highlighted here, where our 30% highlighted area is for the National Hurricane Center's outlook, and all of our shower and thunderstorm activity. But one thing that I would like to point out, and I'm going to pull this back to 50 frames, so this way we get a good amount. This is going to be about 2.5 hour loop. But as you can see, we do have some rotation here, but it is not a closed, tight center with convective activity in and around, trying to wrap around the core. I've been watching this eastern side to see if anything whatsoever was going to try to wrap around this here. It's failing to come up above basically like the eastern line. It's not able to rotate up and around. We've had all of the shower and thunderstorm activity displaced off to the south today. So, and then we've got this band associated with it like this. So that's what we're looking at right now. And until this tries to consolidate a little bit more, it's a rainmaker. It's a big, glorified, huge rainmaker. And hopefully it will help eliminate some drought. As far as the outlook goes, let's see, that's the Climate Prediction Center. Give me 1 second there, Sammy. Climate Prediction Center, that's the Madden Julian. There we go. And here is our outlook. Now, please keep in mind that this comes out, the new version of this comes out tomorrow. So they do have a 20% chance of June 16th to July 16th to July 22nd out here into the northern portions of the Gulf. So the CPC did get this correct. Now, tomorrow we will have a new update on this. So stay tuned. I'm pretty much guaranteed to be live tomorrow night. And y'all can come, and tomorrow's my birthday, so y'all can come visit me for my birthday on the live. So taking a look at the dust model, like kind of we always do, we're going to run this out and continue running this. And as you can see, not a lot of dust is making it up into the Gulf of Mexico right now, but we're still getting plenty of plumes coming across the main development region of the Atlantic. So as long as we're still continuing to get a lot of dry air and a lot of that Saharan dust coming across the basin, it is expected to keep us limited with tropical cyclone development, at least through the short term. Now, taking a look at the Eastern Pacific, this thing has finally decided to calm down. We don't have anything over the next 7 days, and not really looking at anything in the near future either. And as you can see, there are a couple little tropical waves out here, but nothing anticipated to develop. The water temperatures really cool off once you get out away from the Mexican mainland and get out here into the open waters. Water temperatures drop dramatically quite quickly. And as you can see here with the Eastern Pacific, like I said, as soon as you get away from the mainland and you start to kind of trek out to the west, the water temperatures drop off. So sheer, it's not a good environment out there right now. Now, poor Japan. Japan's been getting stomped. And it's not necessarily anything of like significant impact or power. It's just the rain. They've taken a tropical storm, a subtropical storm, and they have another area of invest on the way. So, my hearts go out to the folks there in Japan. It's a little wet right now. And let me see, do I have anything else? I think that's about it. If you guys want to join us over there on YouTube, we do have a YouTube channel this year. You're more than welcome. It'll allow you to at least continue to do things on your phone and not be relegated and stuck to Facebook. Okay, let me see. I don't think I have any more questions. Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and shut it down here for tonight. I'm pretty sure we'll be back live tomorrow, being that the close proximity to land is the reason that I popped protocol. We normally don't go live until it's 40%, but being that it was, excessive rainfall outlook 2 days right off the coast of Florida, folks getting, looking at the icon and like, oh no, like we're going to get something. It's too early to say that this thing is going to be a hurricane. Now, that being said, there's a low chance of this being a low-end hurricane. But it's all going to depend upon what it looks like when it exits the Florida Peninsula on the west coast, and where is it? How far north is it? Is it up here into the Appalachian Bay? If it is, you forget it trying to develop. Excuse me. You can forget it because it's going to run into the landmass here in and around our area, and it should help mitigate anything. It needs clearance out into the open waters. So it's definitely something to watch. Highly recommend that you come back and at least check with the National Hurricane Center or your local National Weather Service office at least once a day as far as the updates on this goes. We'll have a new outlook from the National Hurricane Center at the 8 p.m. hour. I would not be surprised if we've seen a little bit of a bump in the development percentages just due to the fact that we've got a little bit of a banding feature, though it is starting to look a little bit disjointed, a little bit disorganized compared to what it was earlier. But we can't see below the clouds. So what's going on down here below this convective mass is going to be very interesting. It kind of looks like it's not doing very well. And we'll have to wait and see, like I said, folks. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and sign off for tonight. We'll see you again most likely tomorrow night. Have a great evening, everybody.